All right, I think we're live. It's 6:30. Let's see if I did this right today. Hold on. Ah, we are. Alexa louder. What up? What up? What up? All right. It's good to be back. I got it going. Let me get me all lined up here. Let me get the volume off. What up, Midtown? Let me just get situated before I say hello to my dogs around the world. Make sure the charts are going. Make sure I'm lined up. There we go. There we go. What up, everyone? My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. It is 6:31. I'm sorry for being a minute late, but I'm in my setup trying to get myself all situated. We're going to go over some themes in the market, what the market is obsessing about, what I think the keys of the day are. I'm going to try and throw a few bones in your doghouse so you can eat like men and dogs and, figure it all out as we go through life together in these complicated times. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world first. Who do we got? We got Marby's first. What up, buddy? What up, CV? What up, Brooklyn? Uruguay. We got San Antonio in the house. All right, who else we got? Where we got DeQuesta Tony. What up, DeQuesta Tony? We got Englishtown, New Jersey. We got Chile in the house. Everyone, we have Flemington, New Jersey. We got NC in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. We got Brandon from Florida. Everyone's coming in a little slow. What up, Croatia? Hopefully you're feeling well over there. Your buddies, 2 neighbors over aren't so good, right? Crazy. Big convoy surrounding Kiev. Crazy stuff going on right now. What up, Miami? How you doing? Moscow. I actually did speak to my friend Misha, who brought me to the Ukraine multiple times, who has business in Moscow and Ukraine, and he's friggin' pissed at what's happening. A lot of Russians are pissed about what's happening. I don't think anyone wanted this, but you know who. Anyway, what up, Jimmy? Ukraine strong. What up, El Salvador? How you doing? By the way, I did speak to my buddy Bambino. I named him Bambino. He was age 21 when I first met him over 9 years ago. He was smoking cigarettes and drinking a lot of vodka, and then all of a sudden he started doing an Ironman 4 years later because I reached fitness, lifestyle. And meanwhile, they've all been doing well. I was in there August, and now all of a sudden they're freaking have guns in their hands, fighting off for their freedom. Woo! What up, Florida? We got a homestead in the house. Yeah. All right. Let's get ourselves together here. Get down to a little business, right? Anybody remember this song from back in the day? Anyway, there's some things we can control, some things we can't. So at this point, we're going to control what we can control. And what can we control? We can control our process, our routine, how we go about the market, and try and be as prudent as possible so we can provide for our family. So here we go. Alexa off. All right, so here's what's happening. Everyone knows what's happening. If you're tuning in, that means you're a market player. That means you have a process and a routine. That means hopefully you've been navigating, this tape. And at this point, we have like the tale of 2 patterns fighting themselves. One that started in December. Remember that, head and shoulders top that broke all the moving averages, that got us very tactical, that had us low risk, low positions, just trying to day trade the tape. Which did work because there was a lot of moves, a lot of places to focus on, a lot of levels to be prepared with. And then all of a sudden last week while I was in the Bahamas with my family, I saw futures down, things escalating. I'm like, okay, I got to friggin', get off the beach and in the morning figure out how to write a note, help everyone get prepared, and see if this is a capitulation type low. Okay, so at this point, you take a look here at the chart of the SPYs. Let me show you what I'm looking at. So you remember this was the low. This was 420. That was the low of January 24th. That was about 10% off highs. This is when we got tactical. When you break the 8 and 21 day, if you read my book, that is when you go from multiple positions, making money in the market, just riding things out, to tactical. Boom, PS down to 420. What do? We had to retrace them up to this 458, which created that double top. Remember right here, we broke into that gap, and that all of a sudden got us pretty defensive again. So Thursday, what happened? Okay, we gapped down huge. But if you look at it, we closed on the dead lows. So there are probably some momentum traders who are like, hey, I'm going home short because we're going to break below 420 and we're going to see a downside move, which happened. Okay, but then what happened? We hit 410. You could have bought versus a 5, 15, 30-minute low. Some people say, what the hell do you mean buy versus a 5, 15, 30-minute low? It means in the first 5, 15, 30 minutes, markets do some discovery, give you a pivot to trade against, and sometimes you could buy versus out lower and sit there, and that's your new stop. And then on Thursday, we pretty much built all day long. And if you didn't trust that, you could have said, hey, we're reclaiming this 40-20 area. And then once it reclaimed that, anyone who was thinking we're going a hell of a lot lower had a cover. Anyone who was tactically with low risk, that was your spot. That was Thursday. Then Friday, very impressive. We didn't retrace a lot. Remember, like retracement rules. As long as we hold a 25%, area of that Thursday candle, maybe we can continue. Well, it held right here, took out Thursday, went up, and then yesterday the dip was viable. So now we have 3 days going of this new active sequence. Sometimes active sequences can go for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Sometimes they end. What do I mean by ending? It means that you're not getting paid to hold some things. You're not getting paid to buy a dip. You're not able to massage positions that are acting well, and you have to be a bit more careful. So to me, if this is going to remain methodical, right now the SPYs are down. Let's see. Let's go to what's happening overseas. This is what I look at. So right now the DAX overnight is down 2.2% because of what's happening in Ukraine. Friggin' World War III is going on. They're trying to figure out what's going to happen here with with Kiev. There's an envoy of friggin' holy shit. Too many troops. And they're bombarding this that second city, which you see them blow up that government building. Now there's news that they killed an Indian, what's it called, med student. This is like world everywhere, and thank goodness everyone's coming to help. They didn't realize how many friends the Ukraine has. But anyway, Europe's down about 2%. Asia, look at Asia. They're like relative strength. They're just sitting on the sidelines waiting to see if they're going to back Putin or stay out of it. Hopefully they stay out of it. And then look at our pre-market. We're down only 142. So we're down a little bit again. So the question is, can we digest above this area? If we continue to digest above this area, all of a sudden what's going to happen is we're probably going to get this descending trend line here. And then maybe there's a chance that we break above it and see 448. 448 would be the next level, but what do you have to do? You have to get above and stay above, this little spot first, which is about, 438. So here, do we hold above 427 to keep this double bottom intact? That's my thought process. Do we digest and go green and take this out? If so, we have 440 right here, and then there's really nothing above till 448. So that's kind of like the playground. If you want to look at what's important, look at the Qs. The Qs have been leading the way. The tech, tech doesn't have any banks that are being, put into seizure and freezer or whatever you want to call it. So anyway, tech led us low, and right now, here you had a red dog reversal at 329. You then reclaimed the June low. Remember that January low? I'm sorry. And then now we're holding above. So if I were to say where there's room to, I would say this high here is what? This is 357. So 357 is a spot that to me would be very hard to get through. Okay, so but first, what do we have to do? We have to hold today. This 337 yesterday. Remember, I was buying 342s in the morning. I was buying the Qs were down 3-4. I'm like, I'm buying the Qs. I have very low risk, and we'll see if we can go green. And lots of stocks led the way. Lots of stocks went green. There was ways to tactically make money versus a 5, 15-minute low. Again, sometimes a low happens in 5 minutes. Sometimes it tries, breaks it, and then makes a low in 15 minutes. Sometimes 30 minutes, or sometimes just trends down all day. You don't know. That's why it's good to use those for market discovery. So anyway, this is yesterday's high. I would think that if this does continue, it's going to be hard to get through that spot, but we'll see. So yesterday, where did I make my money? I made my money in Tesla. I made my money in Apple. Where else did I make my money? I made my money actually in gold and silver, trading that, and a few else. And also Hess. I've been sitting in Hess. Yeah, Red Dog has some energy names. Woo. Anyway, so here's Tesla. So Tesla's been giving us multiple patterns, multiple things to do this whole year, right? So let's move this over. The first move was when it broke above 900, was above the 8-day, and gave us friggin' massive, massive opportunities all the way up to 1243. PS up here, small head and shoulders top, broke below the moving averages, and it became tactical. Now what? Okay, it reclaimed the 760, 790, showed some power yesterday, but what does it have here? It has this big descending trend line, which is going to be hard to get through. So the question is, are we bouncing back to trend lines that are going to get rejected, or are we going to have enough power to break through? It's hard to tell. There's an easy part of a bounce, and then there's like, okay, are we in a new direction, a new active sequence that's going to last for more than 3 days? Right now, to me, Tesla is acting really well. Friggin' Elon stepped up, sent friggin' satellites to the Ukraine and said, okay, you need some help, I'm going to give you some help. Obviously, we need to get the frick off oil. So you have EV, you have so many things going on here besides, even they have Bitcoin on the balance sheet. So either way, I would continue to use, Tesla as a leading indicator. So for today, for it to be super special, maybe it holds 850, okay? And you could buy some more if you have it overnight. If it holds 850, it's pretty controlled, okay? If it goes lower, it's still okay, but it gets sloppier and harder to stay with. And then if it takes out yesterday's high of 876, there's probably room up to about 930 where it got rejected, most of February. So Tesla could be a leading indicator. Also, obviously, Apple and Microsoft are not as beta, but with their buybacks and a little bit of security, I always turn to that as well. So Apple also, if it holds 160, maybe there's a chance it works towards this area, which isn't as exciting as Tesla, but not everybody can handle movements in Tesla. But then obviously there's guys who are like Red Dog. Am I frozen here? No. Why aren't you talking about Lockheed Martin and and all the GD? I missed them. I just wasn't there for this. Wow, look at Lockheed Martin. Shows you that any sector could use a chart pattern. Nice little channel here, broke out. There you go. Congratulations if you were thinking about these type of stocks. GD also, look at that move. Holy cow. I wish I was buying it here at 220. I just, didn't focus on it. I have been sitting in Hess. Hess has been really good. Okay, if you look at Hess, Hess has been slow. This has actually been a power play for us. And had its first move. I did sell some over 101. It's been sitting on my disclosure for a while. So there's a lot of stocks still working, even in the face of the geopolitical news, in the face of the Fed having to raise rates. We still have to listen to what the Fed's going to say, on Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe they change their tune just a little. They still have to raise rates. They'll probably just do it a quarter. They're not going to do it a half. They still have to continue moving forward. But I don't think they're doing 5 or 7 friggin' rate increases. I never thought they were going to do 5 to 7 rate increases. And then we have the jobs report on Friday. So there's still a lot going on. And we have to listen up to figure out if, Russia's going to want to take a big city. And the only city I think that Putin wants to take is Kiev. And I've been there friggin' 4 times. All those people wanted to do is live their life, train, provide for their families, have some fun. I've done races with them. I've gone to dinner with them. I've gone to Banya with them. The last thing they were doing was thinking about that or worried that Russia was going to come in because, they wanted to say, hey, we owned you a little while ago. But anyway, let's move on from there. Powell speaks tomorrow on Thursday. Yes. We'll probably turn our attention to that then. Gold has been a pretty good trade. I've been in a call spread. Silver, I've been in a call spread. Crypto, yes. Crypto finally showed, yeah, it can be a store of value and it could be money, which is awesome because there's so many good things happening in crypto, and I have been involved in crypto for 1.5 years, and my actual Coinbase Pro account's probably at all-time highs. They're really close because you could technically trade crypto too. So Bitcoin yesterday, I pointed this out. Yesterday I said, hey, we have a potential double bottom in Bitcoin with a higher low. Okay, so that's right here. Here is your first capitulation low with the red dog reversal right there. You had a nice move, okay? Also, if you didn't want to do it there, this was your descending trend line. When it broke above the descending trend line at 39-ish, you had to move to 45-ish. That's a nice move. Right here is when we got to pretty much 75% cash, was when it broke all the moving averages after a red dog reversal sell. I always leave things on the charts for you to look at so you can look at the past situation and say, hey, how could I have navigated this better? So next time it happens, you can navigate it, real time versus looking back. So then what happened? Okay, now you had a higher low, okay, while I was in the Bahamas. I actually think I said to you guys, now I'm back to only 50% cash from 75% cash. I bought some of my favorite altcoins as well as Ethereum. And then yesterday, it's like if we can get above and stay above 40K, we could see a nice move, and that's when I added more. So now I'm about 30% cash. So what I'd love to see now is go sideways, hold this area, and then if we could take out 45, the next spot is 52 above. So we shall see. So at this point, I have about 6 or 7 different altcoins that I've been buying and I've been trading. And the reason why I've only went to 75% cash here is because I had a few left over. I'm learning myself. I didn't know that altcoins could drop 70, 80, 90% and still be okay. I started buying after 50% drops. But anyway, some guys like, what are some of my favorites? Well, I kind of thinking about it, as the whole reason why crypto is getting enthusiasm again is because Bitcoin's been able to use this money. I would think crypto.com, which is the credit card, which is how a lot of crypto enthusiasts bank, as a cash card, as a credit card, as everything, that can't be that can't be put, I guess, canceled or whatever. So I've been buying a lot of crypto.com. I'm kind of thinking right here, I played it the first time from 40 cents. I got to about 75% done with it. And then I did buy it here, trim some. So I would think, this below 50 cents could be something. If you don't own crypto.com, you're like, what could I buy it for the first time as a new crypto guy? You could buy it everywhere. You could buy it on Coinbase. You can buy it on most major exchanges. So I feel it's kind of safer, higher beta for a newer type of crypto guy. I'm not going to get into everything else, that I've been trading, whether it's, Gala or what's it called, WaxP or Solana or Algo or whatever. This, I think, has a big potential besides the majors. So with that being said, how's everybody doing? It's CRO, crypto.com. You saw it probably a commercial for it at the Super Bowl, and they also bought the stadium I think in LA. All right, it's 646. Dow futures down about 150. S&P's down 20. We'll see. Can we hold above yesterday and Friday's low? Can we continue to digest going sideways as we try and figure out what kind of escalation is happening in the Ukraine as we wait for then Powell later this week? Today, I would think again maybe you get some tactical red to green trades, but take those trades. Don't all of a sudden think buy high and sell higher. No, we're still not in buy high and sell higher, and the market still has a lot to prove. We did have what looked like a pretty bad capitulation low last week and a double bottom and red dog reversals that could create a tradable sequence, which we've already seen for 3 days, and we'll see if it continues, and we'll measure it. And once things start to falter, once you take something home and you can't buy a dip to go green and it traps you, and all of a sudden it's harder to be long again, then we'll reduce some risk and we'll figure it out from there and see if all of a sudden we need to revisit last Thursday's low or more. But at this point, we'll see if we could stay neutral to positive versus neutral to negative after that pattern. Brian Shannon reading different time frames, technical analysis. What am I looking to go red to green today? I'm going to trade Tesla red to green today. I'll look at Apple. I'll look at Microsoft. Might even do the Qs. I'm probably going to stay away from the banks. I did reduce some gold yesterday and some Hess yesterday. I'm going to probably look to see if Zoom ZM. Okay, that's I think that thing's been battered and bruised from 400 down to $1.30. I think it's down $5 today. Their earnings weren't horrible, and their guidance was a little light, but they announced the buyback and it hasn't really bounced. So maybe there's a squeeze in Zoom to go red to green, but that could be very tricky. Zoom could be either like an AFRM where it doesn't matter and just continues lower, or maybe it could be like a UPST where they announced the buyback and it was a little bit more solid and then you had a nice move. It's not going to be like that. So that's something that I haven't traded in a year, so I'll probably look at that. And so far, I think long term is fine. It's been battered and bruised. It just had 1 or 2 good days, so I wouldn't be just going after SoFi. I could post that chart if you want. Actually, Chase, my little son, owns SoFi in his Robinhood account. So this too, just like everything else, had a move back up above the trend line, at a fake out below, has some room there. I think it's okay long term. ARK acted a little bit better. I'll leave you with that. ARK, I talked about, you had a red dog reversal here at 60.87 after hitting 57.70. Then you had, it hold up on Friday, take out Thursday's high, and then you even had some follow through yesterday. So that's a nice 3-day move in ARK. A lot of the ARK stocks had a nice 3-day move, but typically in the last 9 months or 12 months, all you've had is 3-day moves and it continued lower. So, here you had a rally back up and then broke this ascending channel, broke the moving averages, came in. Bear flag, came in 3 days up, all of a sudden rebuilt, bear flag down. Quicker bear flag down. 3 days up, 1, 2, 3, tried to get a little bit better, then broke this ascending channel to the downside. So will this time be different? I don't know. You have to let it really prove itself that it can be before you're buying any strength in any of those names. But at some point, it's not going to be as easy as it's been to short that. From what level, we'll see. Maybe this was the level. Maybe it goes sideways. Maybe you can now, get rid of this bar and turn this into this, where all of a sudden, you know, in the coming sessions, it goes sideways, digests, and then takes this out and works its way back towards 78 1/4. That could happen, and if that's the case, all those stocks within her stuff, you know, should do better. So now, what would I say? ARC's got to hold 67. Get rid of this, and kind of move this up here. I would say if you're trying to be in ARC, you know, for a bigger move, let's see if it could stay in here, get tight, and then take that out, and then maybe there's a better trade in there for you. But overall, this was a really nice calculated 3-day move like everything else. So listen, thanks for tuning in. What do you got to do now? You have to continue to stay prepared. Have your iced coffee. I'm doing a happy hour on Thursday. Yes, Thursday at 4:30, I'm going to have a happy hour with the Alpha team, with the 630 Club, with Redler All Access. I'm going to talk a little geopolitics. I'm going to go over where we are now. I'm going to talk about what I've been doing, you know, how you can continue to work on your process. We're going to have some drinks. I'll show you we're going to have some drinks.